Which sets us up for phase 3 of the banana zone. So phase 2 correction would be this. If it continues to trend sideways or a little bit stronger, that would be a corrective phase when everyone starts thinking it's all over, we'll give up now. Bitcoin dominance has peaked, and it peaked. It went up, put in another 9, and I think it's going to continue to fall from here. So that's like the start of the alt season. They've had this monstrous movement back to all-time highs there and thereabouts. You probably get a bit of congestion, a bit of profit taking, and then we get the leg higher. That leg higher should be, all of June should be strong, all of July should be strong, August should be more complicated, which is what we've been saying, which should be phase 2, phase 2 of the correction of the banana zone. Things are kind of in this corrective pattern. Doesn't look a long-term thing. It looks like it's kind of next week or something like that.
Raoul Pal believes the recent crypto pullback is a normal correction before a strong phase 3 rally he calls the banana zone. Bitcoin dominance is falling, signaling the start of altcoin season, and Pal expects bullish momentum to return soon. He sees rising global liquidity and falling interest rates as key drivers, with major institutional capital expected to enter the market. Pal projects crypto could grow into a $10 trillion asset class, with Ethereum likely to outperform. Rapid adoption in regions like the Middle East reinforces his view that this will be the fastest wealth accumulation cycle in history, driven by technology and macro shift. Still paying taxes on your crypto gains? What if you didn't have to? With ITrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto inside a tax-advantaged IRA, giving you a smarter way to grow your portfolio without worrying about capital gains tax. That's why they're the #1 crypto IRA platform in America, with billions in tax-advantaged transactions. There are multiple ways to fund your account. You can make a contribution, transfer an existing IRA, or roll over an old 401k or employer plan. You'll get access to a wide range of digital assets, low fees, and 24/7 trading, all backed by secure, one-to-one asset ownership with institutional-grade custody. And if you have questions, ITrust Capital offers 100% US-based customer support with real people ready to help. Click the link, use code DOS7, and get your $100 funding bonus today. Start building your crypto wealth, tax-advantaged, with ITrust Capital.
Actually, Bitcoin dominance. This was try to get to the 9. It kind of would have been 9 that day. It was, I put out that tweet saying Bitcoin dominance has peaked, and it peaked. It went up, put in another 9, and I think it's going to continue to fall from here. So that's like the start of the alt season. But really, it won't fall until we start getting below this kind of 61.5 level, something like this, 62. If it does that, then the much bigger game is at play, I think. Which sets us up for phase 3 of the banana zone. So phase 2 correction would be this. If it continues to trend sideways or a little bit stronger, that would be a corrective phase when everyone starts thinking it's all over, we'll give up now. And then we should get phase 3, which is the final leg in the dollar, potentially a leg lower in rates, and the more speculative frenzy that comes at the last part of this. You see, there's that nice wiggle that it's not uncommon to get a slight correction. Whether this correction runs further, I think it's just forming a flag. It shouldn't be working wiggle for wiggle, but it appears to be right now, which is weird as shit, and I don't trust it. It's just, I think everybody finds it frustrating because they want it just to go up every day or every week, and it just doesn't work that way. It goes in spurts, and if you miss those opportunities, which is why I don't like ever being out of the market, because you miss it. So that's one that's interesting to me. Solana, again, it's got this 13 like Bitcoin has. Looks like it's a wedge. There was that spike, but generally it was like this inverse head and shoulders. A bit of chopping around here. Next leg will be higher. When that is, whether we need to go a bit lower first. Shui was the kind of saying to me, if I actually go to my normal SUI chart, I think this is some sort of flaggy pattern. This is obviously we have to ignore because that spike and down and back up again. But somewhere here is some sort of just corrective pattern like we've seen a million times in the past. Doesn't yet look like it wants to break higher. So I don't know what's chopping the market, but maybe it's just the M2 chart that we looked at before. You know, there's just a bit of chop to be had still, just as everyone starts getting really bullish because everybody's opening one of these new kind of MicroStrategy copies and everything else. So I think that ETH, I've not been using these charts a little for a bit, but ETH just continues to look good. The inverse head and shoulders is a bit all all my scaling screwed. It all looks good. I mean, it's just rejected here. Maybe this all comes back down to 2,300 or so before then finally making the break. Doesn't feel wildly unlikely. And then because those are doing that, everything's doing the same. I mean, ETH, Bitcoin, same. There's like an inverse head and shoulders here. So I think, again, this is the classic sign of alt season. I think somewhere here, once it breaks this, then we're going back up here. And that'll be the start of something much bigger, I think, finally. And that's the classic sign of some sort of alt season. What else have I been looking at? So, as you said, things are kind of in this corrective pattern. Doesn't look a long-term thing. It looks like it's kind of next week or something like that.
Yeah.
So we wait and see. On the other stuff, it's going to give us a signal for what happens at the back end of the year. But if we go back to that chart you were showing of 2017, it's kind of suggesting that, these corrective patterns eventually fall away. The market digests this huge move that we had. It's a monstrous move. And then we go to another leg lower where we think it probably goes to somewhere between 95 and 90. So again, there's nothing I see is particularly, well, certainly nothing in equity land is bearish, but we're getting at levels of all-time highs where you get a bit of congestion. That will make sense. Nothing in crypto concerns me in any way, shape or form. It's just chopping around here. Feels like we're going to be weaker for a bit, digesting various bits of news before we have the next leg.
We're digesting a big move in markets.
And, it's really interesting to see how strong the ETH narrative comes back. And I've been saying it for a while, is like, people can write off ETH, they're ridiculous. ETH has enormous amounts going for it. And now we've seen this new MicroStrategies version by Joe Lubin of buying ETH. I also think the financial system uses ETH a lot more. And I think ETH outperforms Bitcoin all the rest of the cycle now. And that's not uncommon.
Raoul Pal believes the current market dip is just a pause before a major rally, with Bitcoin dominance peaking and altcoins set to rise. He sees this as a normal phase in the broader banana zone cycle. Pal expects a surge driven by rising global liquidity, institutional investment, and macro shift. He predicts crypto could grow into a $10 trillion market, marking the fastest wealth creation in history.
Really interesting. I was in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Qatar, and I was at the Abu Dhabi Investment Council, which is one of the big sovereign wealth funds. And they just made it very clear that everybody in the region, and Tom will know this because he's out there as well, is that they've all been given the mandate. Number one is AI, and number two is blockchain. Our core thesis is what they're building their entire future country stack on. And this is the whole Trump visit that went there. It's all about the same thing. So they know they've got abundant energy, which is part of your thesis, David. They know they've got abundant energy. They know that they're going to have to adopt technology at scale. They've got young populations that are growing. And they think they can be not only a regional leader, but a world leader in these two things. And so the mandate is invest in this, build this. And it's really exciting to see. I mean, everyone there is still trying to get their heads around what it means. I mean, but this is everything from the oil company through to the sovereign wealth funds, through to the general population, through to businesses, through to the education system, the system of government, all of it. That's what's up to grabs. And that's not just in Abu Dhabi, which tends to be very well thought through in this, but it's Dubai, it's Qatar, and it's Saudi. And Saudi's, really is a big player behind the scenes in this whole thing. So they have this cohesive strategy about what the world is going to look like, and that's what they're accelerating on.
Raoul Pal believes we're entering the third phase of the banana zone, where crypto markets, especially altcoins, are set to surge. Despite recent corrections, he sees this as a brief pause before another strong leg higher, driven by global liquidity and institutional interest. Pal predicts crypto could become a $10 trillion asset class, with massive capital inflows from pension funds and sovereign wealth entities. He sees this as the fastest wealth accumulation in history, fueled by macro conditions and rapid digital adoption. Do you think institutional capital will drive the next big crypto rally? Which altcoin are you most bullish on in this upcoming cycle? Share your thoughts in the comments.